Morning, it's Wednesday morning. It's time to service the Challenger. She's up for a 250-hour service, so quite an easy one to do, but we'll be checking around the flashing lights. The beacons weren't working, or one of them weren't working, and then I've got some of the mid rollers to grease up and just see to as well, so I'll put a little video together and see how today goes. So here we are, all ready for our 250-hour service. I've got a couple of buckets there, and the ratchet and the bar to get the bung out. That's normally a bit of a job getting that out of there, but we'll soon have it out with that bar. Genuine filters, which I always put on. The workshop's a little bit small for me for the whole machine to come in. I'll just show you. So the machine is just in, and then the plough just hangs out of the back still, so we're out of the door if you like. Anyway, what a miserable old day. Good job I got that ploughing done. So the first thing we need to do is take this guard off. You see these little button, you just push that in, twist that, just get the guard off. And we've got the first fuel filter there to get off, which is the water separator one. And then the main fuel filter there to get off. You can see I always write the hours on there, which needs to be done next. So it's 17,250 hours what this machine has done. Currently on the clock is 17,248. So we've got 2 hours to spare, but it's getting changed. Normally look to do at least 10 hours in a day working with it, so it's time to be done. And then the same this side of the machine. I need to just get the guard off. You just push these in, he says. A little bit stiff these are, this side. I suppose it's the heat, I suppose, with the turbo, isn't it? Anyway, just flick them in, turn it, and it comes out. I need 2 hands, but anyway, see the great big turbo there, innit? So yeah, that's the next 17,250 on this one. So yeah, it's the oil one. We'll get that off, get it draining. We'll just check these belts as well in there, make sure they're all right. They look all right, but anyway, I'll put a spanner on, just make sure. Just check around everything else as it should be, and do a bit more. So we're just underneath there now. Just going to get the socket on now. I have undone it. Well, that's the drain plug. I undo this big one this side because I like to look in there and make sure there's nothing in the bottom of the sump, make sure it's clean. And we've just got the oil draining out of there now. You see I've drained that one out. Next thing I'll just put a hole in the filter and drain that. Little trick I learned from Kevin Pettit years ago. He said to me, if you put a hole in the bottom of the filter with a screwdriver, that'll drain the filter out. And you got so much weight then when you're trying to undo it. So I still do that every time. It's a good little tip from Kevin. We're just getting this oil filter off here now. I have just slagging it off, but anyway, this filter strap comes in handy for that. So we're just going to get this oil filter off this Caterpillar engine. I have slagged it with the strap. I hope you can see on the video. I've drained the oil, which is a little tip from Kevin, so I'm just going to undo it now and then put the new one on. Just undoing this filter. Got quite a fine thread on it as well. Quite heavy without the oil in it, and it's really awkward as well. But, anyway, so there's the old filter. 250 hours. It's got the new one here ready to go on. I've put oil around the top. Just oiled it around the top there. So that'll go on nicely. Try not to drop it. Fine thread on these, but once you get started, they're away. Yeah, that's away. There we go. There is quite a lot of vibration in this machine, so what I do is I will just tighten them up with the strap. Put the strap on the bottom. Pull it up a bit. I hope you can see this all in the video. So, I probably want a ratchet a bit better on there. I've done it up the hand. I'll probably just do it up until I feel a little tight. Should be tight enough there. There's quite a lot of vibration in the machine, so it's important that that is tight. We don't want to lose a filter. But there we are. Let's change our filter. So on with the fuel filters next. So this is the water separator. In fact, it says it there. Not water separator. If it'll focus. Let's focus. Yeah, water separator there. Look. Says it on it. Anyway, so what we do is we turn this tap off there, which is the fuel straight from the tank. So we'll turn that off, just there. So we have two fuel fillers. First one's there, in line, which goes across, down to the pump, then back up through the machine, back to this one, which is the main one there. We will be taking both of them off. So we just get this diesel filter off the same way, look, using our filter strap, just to undo it. I've got a container underneath to catch the fuel, which will come out, because there will be a little bit that comes out, but anyway, I'm not really left-handed, but we're getting there. So we've now got the filter off, I've got it in the vise. I need to get the bowl off the bottom, and you just check that's clean, and then put the new one on. So we get this off, just unscrew the end there. You can see that's quite clean. It's not too bad in there. I will just clean that out though. Then we'll put the other one on. I just cleaned the bottom of the bowl out. There was hardly anything in there. We've got a little O-ring in there. I can just get it off. Just peel it off here. They've got a new one to go in there, so we get rid of that. Got another one which goes in. And just sit around the edge for the other filter to screw onto. And there, it just screws into the new one. If I can hold it, we'll see. Anyway, I'll do that up in the vise as well. We've just got the last diesel filter to undo. I have just cracked it, but it's still a bit tight. These do 250 hours, which you don't really get too much problem with them. But anyway, that one's loose. Take it off. A little bit of diesel coming out of there now. I've got a container underneath to catch it, so I'm not polluting the well. Just get a little bit in there. Anyway, so that's the old one off. I've just got to put the new one on. I've got the new filter here ready to put on. Just get a purchase on there. I do something which really not recommended, but what I do is the filters, I fill them up with clean diesel before I screw them back on, otherwise you've got to prime them all up. Now, the diesel engine has to run without no air in the system at all. if there's air in there, then it won't run. So trust me, this won't run with air in there. So what I do is I put diesel in the filters, and it saves all that priming out, because it just saves time at the end of the day. So here goes. I'll just put these this filter back on. Just screw it back on. Smells good. There's the prime, the pump for it anyway, above the filter housing. And I will just prime it up as well. So we'll screw that on as tight as I can get it. Just about that. I'll put the filter strap on it. Just tighten it up. And then turn the tap on. Let's see how it goes. So there we are. We'll just pull it out a bit. Make sure that it's nipped up. That's far enough. These and everything there, which is short and container. So I'll just turn the tap back on, which is that. So now we've got fuel coming from the tank up into the water separator there, along the line round into the pump, which is down there, back up round through these pipes and into this one, and then it disappears into the engine somewhere. So you can undo this and just prime it up. You'll notice I'm not undoing any bolts or anything, because I don't want mess everywhere. And what I was doing is just return them back to the tank. You can actually hear it blowing bubbles back to the tank. So there's resistance there now. That is good enough for me. Because I didn't start it or anything with the, obviously the filters off, it hasn't dragged any air in, so that all should be good to go now. Most important thing now is we need to put some oil in it. I'm just going to check inside the inside there, see if I can see any. Oh, there we are. Just like to look inside there. Make sure there's no traces of them gudgeon pin plastics in there. So anyway, looks all right at the minute. So we're just going to get that bung back in now. There it goes. It's got a little magnet in there. Try and catch any debris from the engine, but that was all good. Another 250 hours done. There we go. The most important thing is to put some oil in it. We've got 15 W40 from Witham Oil. That's now going in. I've already put 5 litres in. I've got 25 in here, which is a 30. And then I just need 2 more litres to fill up, because she holds 32 litres in the engine. I find it just as easy to fill a can up and then pour it in out of the can. So that's how you do this. It's nearly all gone. That'll go in there fairly quickly. And I'll just start it up and just run it. And yeah, that little job you want me next. So there we are, we've got 30 litres just gone in there. So 25 out of the can, 5 out of the jug. And we'll just dip it and check it. I know that it will need another 2 litres in there. So that's the dipstick there, which we check the oil with every day. And you can see now that that is just on the full mark there. I need 2 litres to go in the filter, the oil filter, which is on the other side. So that's where the 2 litres come from. Just get these other 2 litres and put them in there. I'm just going to put the oil in there. So I know it was on the full mark, but as soon as we started, the engine will fill the lines up and go around where it should do, and then fill that filter up as well, which is obviously empty. The oil filter is. Just check on the dipstick. Just show you. If it'll show on there, but I won't focus. No, it's not going to focus on it. Anyway, it's a bit more than the full mark. So we'll start it up and see how it goes. So we're now in the 95E. I'll just show you the gauges as we get started, and you'll see how the pressure builds up. The oil's now being pumped around the engine, and you see the oil pressure now goes up. And that's what I always look for. Good to go. I'm going to check the oil level now on the dipstick. Hopefully that'll focus. No, is it going to? No. Anyway, it is on the full mark. Just tap it at the moment. No, anyway, it's on the full mark, so it's all good. Next thing we're going to pull out is the cab filter. So the cab filter is located here under the bonnet, which is for the cab. I did put a new one of these in earlier on. I've done a 1,000-hour service, so I mean it looks quite clean, but we'll just give it a blow. Next on the list is the air filter, the main engine air filter, which we'll take out. So just 2 clips located on the side. Let me just pull the cap off. It's in there. All dusty condition. She's been working in this yet. We'll get this out. Really need 2 hands on it, but anyway, we'll get it out. Here we are. You can see we got a genuine filter in there as well. We'll give that a bit of a blow. The inside one looked like new. Look. I normally do, but anyway, we'll give this a blow. That'll be that one done. Just get these 2 blown out. I'm going to do a little time-lapse video. Hope you enjoy it. That's the air cleaner all cleaned up. I'll get that back in there now. Where it should go. It's back in there like that. Just fits in properly. I need 2 hands to put that in there, but anyway, that's where that goes. Look how shiny them levers are. It's the air filter put back in now. And there it goes in there. Need 2 hands again, but anyway, that just goes up into there like that. 2 hands for it. That goes up into there. And that clips on there. There we are, done. So I noticed here we got the hydraulic oil a little bit low. So I'll go and get some and put in there. That's when you swap over different machines from the plough to the top down and other various machines, cousins. And then back again, you lose a little bit of oil. So anyway, we'll top it up and bring it back into the middle. I just labelled the filters up. 17,500 is our next service. Just labelled up the fuel filters as well. 17,500 is our next service. Just had a little issue with the backlight, but that turned out to be a fuse, so that's all done now. Some new horns on there earlier on. That's for the children when we go past. They love it, giving the fist pumps. So anyway, they're there for the children. So now we're onto the tracks. I'm just going to put a little bit of grease in these pivot points here. They sometimes get a little dry in there, and they just need grease. So what it is, you've got a little pin in the middle, which I'm just going to push this pin out, but it actually goes right inside. So you only push it in about I don't know, a centimetre or two. If you push it right in, you've got a real job to get it out. But so I'm just going to put a little bit of WD on there, and then I push this little it's actually an O-ring pick. I just push it in there, get some WD in there, and that side, some in there, a little bit at the bottom, get it in there, and then a little bit at the top. Now twist it, and then it should come out nice and easy. If I'm lucky, the little pin will be still attached. If not, it's inside. There it is. The little pin is still attached, and that just comes out like that. So there's a little pin, there's a little rubber bush that goes in there. And what happens is, it's supposed to be a little drop of oil in there, but I fill them up with grease, and then a little bit of oil to finish it off. So that goes in there. A few pumps of grease. And the grease then pushes it out. So it's filling it up. That should be enough. I do this quite regularly because sometimes they squeak, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, once I clean that up, there's the bung. As I push it back in, and it needs sealing up with a hammer. I push it in like that. A little bit of grease comes out. And all I do is get an oil can, push it in the hole what's there, which will go in. I can then put a little bit of oil in it, and it will just pressurise that a little bit. Just gently pull it out. A bit of grease there, push him in. And that is enough. Just a little bit of grease. Push that pin back in. There we are. Just clean it up with a hammer, then I can just tab it in the rest of the way. If you've got a little bit of a squeak on these, that's where it'll be coming from, not this main bush here, because that's got oil in there with seals. So that'll be coming from here. So that's my little trick there as well, just to keep that going. Just clean it up, and I'll do the others. So there's 4 to do on the machine. Check the lights around the back. The work lights at the top, they're all on. I'll be needing them soon. Just see what this oil is like out here. Like I say, I done it at 100. We'll see what it's like today. There it is. What we got on the end there. A little bit of filings on there. Something's going on. We might have to investigate in the winter. Just while I was on the crawling board, I just have a look underneath there and check that the linkage was all right. I welded it up earlier on this year, and it's sort of hanging in there quite nicely, so that's a good job done. Just a matter of time though, because it will break, it will crack again. Just the work that it does. So we'll keep an eye on it. So just to do the last part of the video now, I'm just going to grease these grease points on the back. Normally grease these up for every week really. I won't need too much. That'll just finish our 250 hour service then, which is all ready to go. One under there, which is on that main ram. I'm just going to get around the other side now. This one is on the arms. There's 2 on here. And a pivot at the back. Then you've got 4 under here. One is the pivot, because these arms will pivot left and right. The other is the pivot, which goes up and down. The other one is a big pin at the back, which will slew on. And then another one at the bottom, which will slew on. Another one here. Way up. And then we've got got one on the top link at the back. I've got one on the threads. And believe it or not, I had this break right through here this year. I was on the V-form, so I had to weld that up. That went too bad, I just took it off, brought it back to the workshop, welded it up. So that's on the final yoke. One at the top pin, which is on the end of the ram, and one on here, which is on the adjustment for the depth, which I only really use it for flat lifting or on the V-form. But that's it. Service done.